At 76 years old, Sergeant First Class Thomas "Tom" Ashton had faced war zones, not front desks, but nothing could have prepared him for the quiet humiliation he endured at the Grand Luxuria Hotel. After a long drive to attend a war memorial dedication honoring his fallen brothers-in-arms, Tom arrived at the upscale hotel proudly wearing his VFW cap, VA ID card in hand, and a printed page showing their advertised 25% heroes rate for veterans and active duty military. This wasn't a favor he was asking for. It was a promise the hotel had made publicly. Standing at the polished marble counter, Tom calmly presented his documents to the young front desk clerk, Chloe, whose robotic smile didn't waver as she dismissed his request. "That rate is only for active duty, with a special code," she said, barely glancing at the page he offered. Tom politely pointed out that the hotel's website made no such distinction. The discount clearly included veterans. But Chloe refused to honor it, citing internal system rules. The message was clear: policy mattered more than truth, and a decorated soldier's word meant little in the face of corporate indifference. Tom, stunned, stood for a moment in silence, not because of the price difference, but because of the principle. He hadn't fought for discount codes. He had fought for dignity, and now, even that was being denied at the front desk of a hotel that promised to honor him. And in that moment, what started as a quiet check-in became the beginning of something far bigger. Tom Ashton stood at the front desk of the Grand Luxuria Hotel, his fingers lightly gripping the edge of the counter as he took a steady breath. The lobby around him buzzed with quiet elegance. Soft piano music played overhead, marble floors gleamed under designer lighting, and guests moved with an air of wealth and importance. But for Tom, none of that mattered. All he wanted was a fair check-in and a little respect. He had come prepared, his VA ID card, his reservation confirmation, and a printed page from the hotel's website that clearly offered a 25% heroes rate discount for veterans and active duty military. But Chloe, the front desk clerk with a well-practiced smile and the warmth of a frozen pane of glass, had denied the discount without hesitation. Tom had expected courtesy, not confrontation. Still calm, he slid the website printout across the counter and quietly said, "Miss, your website clearly states the offer applies to veterans. There's no mention of any special code, and I'm not active duty, but I served over 30 years in the Army. My VA card verifies that." Chloe gave the page a passing glance, then returned to her screen. "I understand, sir, but our internal system indicates the rate only applies with an active duty code. That's what I'm required to go by." Her tone was polite, but her refusal was absolute. Tom was firm, but never impolite. "I understand you have procedures, but surely you can check with your manager. This seems like a misunderstanding that can be cleared up quickly." Chloe didn't even hesitate before answering. "Mr. Davies is in a meeting. He left word not to be disturbed unless it's a true emergency." Her smile thinned. "Unfortunately, a dispute over a discount doesn't qualify." She looked past Tom toward the next guest in line. There it was, the moment when a decorated veteran was told that honesty and documentation didn't matter because a corporate system said otherwise. Tom's chest tightened, not from anger, but from the quiet realization that once again, policy had replaced principle. "Miss," he said softly, "I'm not just here to argue about a price. I made this reservation based on what your company publicly promised. I traveled here for a memorial to honor men who never came home. I served beside them. I don't need special treatment, but I won't be dismissed like this either." Chloe, seemingly unmoved, offered a customer service card. "If you'd like to escalate the matter, you're welcome to call corporate during business hours." She turned back to her screen. "Now, would you like to proceed with the full rate check-in?" Tom slowly gathered his documents. His pride stung, not because of the cost, but because of the refusal to even consider his truth. He gave a polite nod. "No, thank you. I'll make that call now. Not to a general customer service number, but to someone who might actually remember what it means to keep your word." With that, he stepped away from the counter and found a quiet seat in the lobby. His Labrador buddy was still waiting patiently in the car outside, unaware that his owner had just been quietly humiliated. Tom pulled out his phone. This wasn't about a rate anymore. It was about a promise that had been broken, and Tom knew just who to call to fix it. As Sergeant First Class Tom Ashton settled into one of the Grand Luxuria Hotel's plush lobby chairs, the sting of humiliation still fresh, he knew calling a corporate hotline would only lead to endless holds and empty apologies. This wasn't about getting a discount anymore. It was about standing up for something that mattered. He pulled out his worn phone, the same one he used mostly for family calls and doctor appointments, and scrolled down to a name he hadn't dialed in years: General Alistair Finch. Finch had once been Tom's commanding officer, a no-nonsense leader who had always stood up for his troops. These days, Finch sat on the advisory board of several major corporations, including the parent company of the Prestige Hotel Group, the very chain that owned the Grand Luxuria. It was a long shot, but if anyone would understand the insult Tom had just endured, it was Alistair. He took a steadying breath and hit call. Oh gosh. The line rang only once before a brisk professional voice answered. General Finch's office, this is Major Crawford. Tom quickly identified himself, speaking clearly and respectfully. I'm Sergeant Tom Ashton, retired. I served under General Finch years ago. I need to speak with him directly. It's urgent. Crawford paused only a beat before replying, Hold, Sergeant. In less than 30 seconds, another voice came on the line, familiar, commanding, unmistakable. Tom Ashton, you old war horse. What kind of trouble have you gotten yourself into now? Tom chuckled despite the tension and quickly explained the situation. The advertised hero's rate, the VA ID, the website proof, and Chloe's refusal to honor it. Alistair, he said quietly, it's not just the money, it's what it represents. They're offering respect to veterans in print and then denying it at the front desk. And tonight, I'm here to honor some brothers who never came home. This just felt wrong. Finch didn't hesitate. Tom, I was one of the people who helped push that hero's rate into every prestige hotel across the country. I made damn sure the language included veterans, not just active duty. This isn't some gray area. What they did is unacceptable. The line went quiet for a moment, the faint sound of typing in the background. Then with a clipped tone, the general said, Sit tight. I'm calling Richard Steele directly. He's the CEO, and he and I have a clear understanding when it comes to how veterans are treated. Expect movement, and quickly. Tom ended the call and exhaled slowly, surprised by how quickly his old commander had sprung into action. It had been less than 2 minutes, but the weight of that conversation was immense. General Finch wasn't just a powerful figure, he was a man of integrity, and that meant more than any corporate title. As Tom waited, the grand lobby buzzed around him, oblivious to the quiet storm about to hit. Chloe, the desk clerk who had dismissed him so easily, was back to typing, unaware of the executive phone call racing down the corporate chain. 4 more minutes passed before the hotel's private management line rang with a jarring, urgent tone. The front desk stilled. Chloe answered, her smile vanishing as her face went pale. Yes, Mr. Steele, she whispered. Yes, sir. He's here immediately. She looked across the lobby and locked eyes with Tom. This time, her face wasn't smug, it was terrified. The system had tried to ignore him. But thanks to one well-placed call, that was about to change. Exactly 6 minutes after Sergeant First Class Tom Ashton had been dismissed by the front desk, the quiet elegance of the Grand Luxuria lobby was shattered by the urgent ringing of the internal management line. It was a line rarely used, meant only for corporate-level communications. And when it buzzed to life, front desk clerk Chloe froze mid-sentence. With one glance at the caller ID, her face drained of color. She picked up the receiver slowly, her voice trembling as she answered, Grand Luxuria front desk. Chloe speaking. Within seconds, her posture straightened, her tone changed, and she looked toward the lobby in wide-eyed panic. Yes, Mr. Steele. Yes, sir. He's right here in the lobby. Understood, sir. She hung up, clearly shaken. At that very moment, the door to the front office flew open. Mr. Bree Davies, the general manager who had been previously unavailable, burst out, his phone still pressed to his ear, his expression one of utter disbelief and fear. Yes, Mr. Steele. Right away. Of course. Completely unacceptable. Mr. Davies approached Tom like a man facing judgment. The arrogance and inaccessibility from earlier had vanished, replaced by a desperate need to make amends. Sergeant Ashton, sir, I sincerely apologize for the misunderstanding, he stammered. There's been a grave error in how our system applied the hero's rate discount. Please allow me to extend the full respect and gratitude you deserve. Behind him, Chloe stepped from behind the desk, her face pale and lips quivering. Mr. Ashton, I'm so sorry. I didn't know. I was misinformed and... Tom didn't speak right away. The same lobby that had ignored him minutes before now seemed to buzz with unease. Every employee seemed to be watching. Mr. Davies' phone crackled again. Yes, Mr. Steele. Presidential suite. Lifetime diamond status. Understood. Then looking at Chloe with a somber expression, he added, Yes, sir. Effective immediately. Understood. He lowered the phone slowly and turned back to Tom. Mr. Ashton, Mr. Steele, the president of Prestige Hotel Group, has ordered that you be upgraded to the presidential suite for the duration of your stay, entirely complimentary. In addition, you've been granted lifetime Diamond Elite status across all Prestige hotels. He paused, swallowing hard. Mr. Steele also wishes to speak with you personally once you're comfortable. Then turning to Chloe, he delivered the final blow. Chloe, effective immediately, your employment is terminated for failure to uphold company values and for the gross mishandling of a veteran guest. Chloe's eyes welled with tears as she backed away from the counter, completely undone. Other staff stood frozen in place, stunned at the sudden reversal of power and tone. Mr. Davies himself checked Tom in, personally handling the upgrade, waiving all fees, and escorting him to the grand presidential suite. His apologies were profuse, almost pitiful. The room, with its vaulted ceilings, plush furnishings, and city skyline view, stood in stark contrast to the barracks and foxholes where Tom had once laid his head. Tom didn't revel in Chloe's firing, but he appreciated that someone finally stood up, not just for him, but for every veteran who'd ever been brushed aside with a smile and a shrug. Corporate had responded not with a form letter, but with action, consequence, and respect. And for Tom Ashton, that made all the difference. Sergeant First Class Thomas Tom Ashton never asked for special treatment, only fairness and respect. Yet his quiet stand at the Grand Luxuria Hotel sparked a sweeping change across the entire Prestige Hotel Group. After the corporate president stepped in and fired the employee who dismissed him, Tom's experience became more than a personal victory. It became a turning point. The company launched a full review of its policies, ensuring that all veterans, not just active duty personnel, would be honored consistently. No small print, no confusing terms. For Tom, it was never about the price of a hotel room. It was about the principle. Veterans don't serve for recognition, but when that service is publicly acknowledged and promised a token of gratitude, it should be upheld with sincerity, not treated like a marketing gimmick. Tom's actions reminded us all that honoring those who served is not a promotion. It's a duty, a commitment, a reflection of a nation's values. His quiet dignity, combined with the loyalty of an old comrade and a phone call at the right moment, made one hotel chain stand at attention and hopefully inspired others to do the same. In a world filled with bureaucracy and excuses, it's often a single voice that demands accountability and reignites honor. Let Tom's story be a reminder that integrity starts with action. If his stand moved you, type respect in the comments to show your support for our veterans. And don't forget to subscribe to our channel, because real stories like this matter, and we believe every hero's voice deserves to be heard loud and clear. Together, let's honor those who never stopped serving, even after the uniform came off.